family members. This now the social media review with Farima Savage, of course, as chief host, and Kutubu Koma as a co-host. Unfortunately, due to some emergency, the chief host, due to some unexpected emergency, by God power, personally, me the count on the fact, say, sometimes God make the address, then he will join in, let God make the address them. But one thing about VOS, we always get emergency plans, and I make if I've not observed it, most shows, and then you get, two people there. Should in case something happen to one person, then your other person, he can step in as a host for the night, so that the program will go on. And one thing, before I even jump to the topic, VOS to make a point of duty. The shows them or the programs are never about individuals. Yes, the individuals are there for host them but some more assume say unexpected contingency take place. The programs can still go on. That's the flexibility that when the VOS, and I tell God thank you for that. Even though this now, Madam Farima Savage is show nine the chief host, but VOS make provision just should in case, because we know human means that anything can happen the last minute. So VOS make provision, say something happen last minute, somebody will step in for good. So on that note, really I'm a distinct honor and privilege for stepping to tonight for do the show. But like I said, I still count on the fact, say, if God make you able to get what you do, you get under control, you will come in. The show tonight, actually, we deal with mob justice as reported by the Daily Telegraph na London. We, as a matter of fact, I'm a very good friend, Abdul Rashid Thomas, director. He quotes something in Mrs. Bio. And before I dwell into that, I go and let the technical team put that thing up. Let us say read for ourselves. Waiting, Mrs. Bio is say. Then we will ask the fundamental question whether father not the solution. Yes, we know say he get a passion for that little angel. Let God sorry for that angel. Let God and Arijana for nothing. Something out of anger, because anybody will be angry because she's a wife and she's a mother. So the passion, the drive, we can understand. But the only thing no more now in the cause of the anger, but if you inject something inside it now, you tell for miss the crystal ball. And by God power, we in our VOS own job. Now for us, we voice the for say, well, in as much as we really want punishment for people them where they do then kind of a thing, but we being a nation of law and order, a nation we believe in the rule of law, we believe say we still get a cause, and I will get into that in depth. But for now, I want to learn social, let the technical, and people put that thing up. We the Daily the Telegraph writes where they attribute that to Mrs. Bio. So now I'll take with time read them. For example, well, of course, it's a mob justice has no place in Salone with itself. But we the think say, and I believe say the vast concourse of citizens believe say mob justice not for the Salone at all. So they invite Mrs. Bio for they take note of that. Yes, we want to fight. This fight here for make sure to kill them, not get victim of that thing. But within the constraints of doing that, we still get ways out of work. So, like they put an award, we get for freedom. Like I said, Mr. Abu Thomas, na England, we run that paper, they like that. And there's a contention that mob justice they undermine the rule of law and they make the work of the police more difficult. Then, of course, we see Mrs. Bio near the president. So we see say, the president of Salone, Mrs. Fatima Ami, our husband, the president of Salone, Mrs. Fatima Bio 2 days ago called on people to strip naked and beat up men accused of raping their girls before the police gets there. If I want to hold on to that, we don't need for go in depth again. No, you hold on to that. Whilst I do the talking, want let una self the ponder over this. Let una look how this will address the issue. Like again, I say that Lily Angel and Khadija, it did now everybody in mind, everybody right thinking person. That kind of thing will happen to that beginning. That way, will ever erase that memory. And we prayer is that let God let justice take place on his behalf. We pray God for that. Whoever na the perpetrator of that thing, let God let himself get justice. But the question we will ask yourself, what kind of justice? You see, because Lord use that word, Lord take that word, a mob. And the key word that Lord use the word mob. Some of we don't hang around too much there. Mostly, let us bring in the mafia, maybe the owner, the Gambino, the Castellano, the Bonano, and all this. Now a mob, then people are weird. And we know what's in a mob, waiting mob they can do. We know what that is. If we take waiting, it talks to literally, we talk about mob justice. For mob and justice are two different things that we're not congruent at all. You not go associate mob with justice. No, it doesn't work so. You see, now like night and day. When you talk of mob, for equator with justice, you will defeat the purpose. You will defeat the argument. Rather, justice in for deal with the mob. Justice, for deal with the mob, not to the mob for deal with justice. Wait, I don't turn around. All right, let me look at the argument from this perspective now. More say this again at 9 logic, I say, which they call the logic of syllogism, when 50-50, 50% be 50%. It's possible to say something happen 50%. It equally possible 50%. I can give an example now in America. There was a case in New York, so one abroad in New York, I did that case be there. A lady claims they rape her. That in the began big national healer. The owner be a hoax where one of them politicians there. And they made that hoax they frame innocent people there. That was a big sharp thing. I mean, come up with that. Where they get an iota of truth. All of the people can use that for political purposes. Sometimes, way here to be not there or way be not sad. Something happened between the two. It will go like by you. So if we say then when somebody go complain, say, oh, they not rape him, you're the way Mrs. Bio Inca with that crude solution. Say, well, what would I for do? Would I for strip her naked? Would they perpetuate mob justice? Then they go tangle. You don't want to give, the opposite sex. You don't want to get that kind of power. What if even your wife said, most when I get a problem in the house, your wife talks, say, it not be, way you have, we not be man and woman, the woman not agree. What if he reports you? So that you do. So, waiting Mrs. Bio talk, so that kind of about justice they for bring that to you. So, there is some of we get serious reservation, see, more justice for take place. One other thing that we will not fulfill for real lives, that's Salone. We don't get the kind of 21st century technology where they get the United States when they do DNA, they go do this. In fact, because there are times where we get a lot of people in the United States where they not frame, we don't go jail for long time, where they not commit any kind of crime they are so. They not frame people there. But thanks to DNA, with the advent of this DNA, we don't count out a lot of people that may even be seen on death row, they don't get free because of this. Because of the advent of the DNA, when they not introduced inside the new system of justice, how for go about solving crime. A lot of things them actually now we tell God thank you for it. There are a number of people that way they're not free. We been on in Nigeria for long time. But because of the DNA, God don't make it not free. So this year that they will part coming with Mr. Bio, we believe see anybody will commit any kind of a crime day, the law for taking cause. Rather than Mrs. Bio, they suggest that waiting for do, if for use in influence with a husband, say, look, Salone, this is not the 21st century. Let me equip with law enforcement agencies that they will try to get any kind of technology. Then they train people then when a specialist in it here, not get the equipment then. These are all part of development because if we talk about we want justice to the country, we want a proper what you call judiciary, they forget mechanisms in place. By now, certainly today, Salone for don't get even lie detectors because we're training out police officers, specialist police there. But this they need tools there. We just cannot rely on the waiting somebody go say because the tendency for let somebody lie by you is very great. For a number of reasons, somebody could go lie by you. If you don't get good alibi, you don't get somebody who will save you. And to me, the best alibi for this, in the case of rape, na DNA. Because DNA, you don't lie. It will put you at the scene. Because the evidence will be. But just on the face of allegation, somebody made allegation, saying that they shortly after you don't make allegation, they all on a sudden now, then they bring that kind of justice. Me, I feel say, me one call and say that a travesty of justice, go both well, and that an animal farm mentality that a jungle farm mentality that, and we don't pass that stage there. That Hammurabian code, where you pull me foot kanda, I will pull you with kanda, where you not in that. We not, you don't use no way to that or the other way. So now the importance this say well, we actually know for buy into that narrative. Yes, we don't want, like I said, we don't want sound insensitive. Say we go want, let people then commit them kind of act against women and go free. Oh no. Maybe they say the penalty for being be very stiff for people when they do. Only that you for exhaust the legal system. Let's say they accuse you of rape. More say they will come up with the evidence. And also for establish the evidence, the court. Now, the only place that not to the court of public opinion. The public opinion, there's great possibility that they go be biased against you. There's great possibility. But the court of law, where the witnesses, they all go there, they go take statement. You the accused person, you go able to the person, you say yes, they do that. Then in lawyer, then they will cross-examine you. They will go through this. The witness, the accused person will bring your witnesses. Then when they don't know, they strike a strategic balance. So if at the end of the trial now they say, well, look, we don't go through all the crucibles of the judicial process, we find you guilty. So now the penalty then, that I think say readily society go embrace that. But for get a situation where that just one man with one person say a look triangle because of the sensitive nature of this in fact, I want to move for talks. Even as I talk, I go and let the technical people they open the line and I can take questions at any time or they can make a comment because this is very important. One for see the people they weigh in and they really tell me how they feel about this. Waiting at the best way. Me believe say, and I believe say a good number of we Salonians, we go and talk say yes. Let anybody where they accuse of this, let go to the justice system. Well, people they will come back when they say, well, guess what? You see, with justice system, now one that we're not good, and we rely on them. So say the man go bribe the way out, they go they delay the case there, the lawyer they go do this, they go. So the answer to that, what you need for do, we as citizens, we need for now demand reforms them in we judicial system. We as citizens, how will they do it? Will they for them or we elected MPs them? Will they tell them, let them be take a look at some of their laws and the one law where they need for even look at now that freedom, I mean that criminal libel law, they need for look at that because then law they take out from England when about 18 something. I don't forget the exact day when they did it. And then since in England, they don't remove that thing in the books. You know they but we don't bring us since 1965. Now we don't bring that kind of law in our books. And today it did it. And now it hamper democracy. Because we know talk about democracy where people they don't get right for talk, not to democracy. So these are one of the things that again we believe say we as citizens we for day behind we MPs them because then they could send in the jobs like we say that for make laws, that for make sure say the laws that we did that laws them where they in sync with what the country want and then it will carry the country go before. We don't want archaic laws there, we don't want laws that we go choke, we not we will fit in today and the way of doing things there, will fit the circumstances of the day. So me go one content say as we address this issue of how for deal with rape business, we for try get mechanisms, we get structures in place, we get the resources, and we will get the things that we will actually make sure so when it happens, we get the adequate punishment. And we also, it's not only punishment for the talk about, so we for also the talk about deterrence. How for make that people then teach people then for understanding these now acts that we know we talk about rehabilitation for rehabilitate people there for say that kind of a mentality, that kind of a perception, how you look at it. You cannot physically abuse somebody in body, you cannot do that. You don't get it right. Just because you get a strength, then you overpower. Then the worst thing I will do for that to a defenseless person, then that really bikini, that the worst thing that we could do to a defenseless person. Even somebody when that big person, when a strong person said, you're not supposed to go to let alone person way not able to defend himself. So the long and short of this argument now. Where Mrs. Bio income or your solution where he come up with, if you say he wrong, what he go do, he go just create more problems than he wants to solve them. People then go use them against innocent people. Innocent people then go suffer for no reason. People then go use them as a blackmail. People then go use them for a hostage. Most say, woman go to you, he want this, want that, he go lie. He go lie. So all of the factors are here. America now, a day like today, if you say anybody, you say somebody rape you, they know they come out here. The thing is very quick. They submit to the DNA test. When the DNA test come, it affirms what you talk now to, then the law will take in course. But what you know want do that, we will not want to put the cat before the house. We don't want to be so emotional now to the extent we also forget the fact saying the other person when they accuse, he also get rights under the Constitution. He get the right of presumption of innocence until that kind of a horrible accusation has gone through all the judicial process. Not just say no more. As soon as they say, "Oh, you don't do this," then they pass on. What if you kill the person? More said in the course of perpetrating that mob justice, like way Mrs. Fatima you don't talk about. What if the person lost them? Then what you can't turn out say the person not even been done. How you go atone for that? How you go remedy? There will be no remedy for that. There will be no remedy. Most say there be somebody like one person. Then in the cause of perpetrating the mob justice, quote mob justice, then the person lost his life or una inflict serious bodily harm on the person, where something go left the person disabled. But then by some macabre fate of an ironic twist, it can't happen say the person not do that. Just like we began one minister American assisted in the corner Ray Donovan. And somebody lied panel. This is under President Reagan. They make hell of an accusation against the man, where even be put in job in jeopardy, but even a very freedom in jeopardy. Then then they can't find out. In fact, everything the one question when the man asked, you ask one question, and we remember that incident. Remember, he said, "Who side in they go now for go get a repetition?" Because the thing about that, once your repetition has been battered in the very first place, whatever they do now for try for amend them, for bringing about, it's not going to be as it was originally. Because people have already made up their minds. I mean, and that made the white man say perception and reality. They not already make up their mind. God forbid somebody can say, hey, Kutubu na rape, so Kutubu don't rape somebody. Most say God make another drum. By the time where people they realize, say, another drum, I have already been tagged. I will be socially isolated. Any side where people they see me, they draw the line, they not go near me, they will make sure I don't go near me because Kutubu is a rapist. Somebody not go don't even say me, but go don't hear him, go don't hear that name. Oh, one fellow already called Kutubu, they say a rapist. So these are all of the things that we need for, but certain things that before you tag them on somebody, you want actually forgo, the extra mile for the show, say this don't happen. This don't happen. So what I can do at the campus for a brief second and see if we can get any little commercial with them. Then we welcome everybody, then the line opens. So back to you guys, then at the inside the showroom. Back to you guys.
Why do a website when you can create an app for your business for free? Yes, with TAV App Maker, you can make an app as easy as pie. It only takes a few minutes. Simply choose a design template you like, add the features you want, and once you are happy with the results, publish it to Google Play and Apple Store. So your clients can download your app. Go to TAVAppmaker.com and create your free app today.
Cotton Tree Pharmacy is your new trusted provider of pharmacy services in Sierra Leone. You can count on Cotton Tree Pharmacy for genuine quality brand name and generic medicines. Guaranteed refills for prescriptions issued by doctors in Sierra Leone or abroad. Door-to-door medication delivery service in Freetown and beyond. Free health education. Have you heard about our Diaspora Medicine Connect? With Cotton Tree Pharmacy's Diaspora Medicine Connect, anyone can pay for your prescription online. Bring your prescription to 17 Pademba Road. Collect an invoice. Send your invoice to your sponsor in the diaspora. Your sponsor pays for your prescription online. We deliver your medication to you. For quality prescription and medications, visit Cotton Tree Pharmacy at 17 Pademba Road in Freetown. Have questions? Call our pharmacist on WhatsApp at 030-611-664 or visit our website at www.cottontreemedicalgroup.com. Come to Cotton Tree Pharmacy. We are ready to fill your next prescription.
Again, this is not the social media review with Fatima Savage, but unfortunately, due to some emergency, we will make them up. So now immediately today, we did talk about this, how Mrs. Leo Iwan addressed the rape crisis. And like I say, on one hand, we'll see with them because morally outraged, just like the whole country in Nassau, we outraged about the thing, the unfortunate thing happened to that Lily Angel there. Or in the cause of how outraged now, can't even with, draconian solution we will only exacerbate the problems. Because in the course of trying to solve the problem, by EU solution, it will just increase the problem and we don't, will solve it. For example, the lines are open, like can you tell me the fact that the lines are open, when I can call in, weigh in, your comments, and all that. Now, let me also take this argument, not look at what may happen now if it will keep place there. Schools them. And a lot of us look at schools there. Teachers them also. There's this pervasive talk. We don't hear this, but teachers them, then they, turn them, student them, to, woman them, just forget, for meet up the sensuous gratification of the mind, or for satisfy the physical urges them. That in itself, actually, outside today, it is outside character for state teachers or somebody where get authority over another person, let he use that authority just because he want get something. America they fashion for the color a quid pro quo. So that also now an area. If Mrs. Bio actually curtail this pervasive or uncontrolled, sexual appetite on the part of people them to the extent that the boss system that the job so we teachers them that the schools them we professors them they understand that these are serious offenses. This is very serious. And even United Nations Charter says, he strongly condemned that. America, they call it sexual harassment. Then when you go back to this case of this rape or whatever it is, then we blend that with sexual harassment. Now see how that if you not properly pursue, how that they will damage somebody, and they take the case of a Supreme Court judge, Justice Clarence Thomas. I don't know how many people they follow Justice Thomas doing in confirmation. Justice Thomas, Clarence Thomas, now he be the second black man we take over we can at the Supreme Court after Thurgood Marshall, President, that the big part, President Bush, the big part, he appointed to the to the Supreme Court. And two says no where you get a job, you just not to the Africa. When they give you job, but when the president appoints you no more, they go to the court. No, it doesn't work that way. The process you get for go to vetting, senatorial confirmation, and all that. In the process, where they know when they nominate Clarence Thomas, then by the time the hearing they get on the way, one lady, a whole professor, a whole professor, he accuse them of forcing himself on her because that's the sexual harassment and all of it. So the genesis of rape, it starts with sexual harassment. That it starts. Then it trickle down to rape. Even people like Michael Jackson, they don't go through anything. So in the case of Thomas, Professor Anita Hill come talk say, well, look, from the time where he and Thomas they open at EOC, till they go to the Department of Education and all that. Thomas they fashion her too much, Thomas they sexually harass her, Thomas they do, they go to the Senate hearing. The woman go make a lot of graphic graphic testimony in that place where under normal circumstance, I told in the weekend when we talk and actually in the public. And besides this took place that the Senate thing. So that thing became a bone of contention. But they look, the question of credibility, they look. People are divided. But then in the end, again, something they want to call a male bastion. So virtually the white people then, with on the Senate, the male people then, they rally around Thomas. So finally they give Thomas your vote. not after, they're not really, Anita Hill and the senators, they're not really bring it. Say today, Mr. Clarence Thomas not recover from that today. If they see anybody who don't see the justices of the Supreme Court, that black man that say, every day the facial contour you see, it totally distorted. And not one day since that hearing been done, we talk about the time when big power, Bush, power. And not one day from that time, I don't see Thomas to smile. I don't see smile by Thomas. Every day you see that facial contour with here. There's something where they weigh on them. All this emanate from the 3 years so. This, sexual problem, we Mrs. Biono can't talk say, let we perpetrate, let embrace mob justice. In now again, you need to move away from this mob justice talk here so. Because it only be it only get a bit used to them. I don't know what's the concept of mob justice. And if you don't really look at, for see, wait about mob justice, waiting I need to do. Especially when you use the word mob. The hope is that God can make again a message say, let it begin to profile a new solution. Let me talk about a new solution. Let it stay away from using the word mob. Because mob, people in the way they are Salone, they're very gullible. Mrs. Leone for understand say not to everybody get the kind of a superb education we can get. We go able to discern between what actually mean by that. Because we talk about mob, the synonym for that, the violence. Mob equal to violence. So there's no other way for to know. Mob are violence. So in other words, when you begin to talk about mob justice, indirectly what you call for violence. So this is exactly waiting the handlers of Mrs. Bio, the in staff members them, senior people them, some of we know talk long ago, say Mrs. Bio need for higher experience, people that PRO person, a very experienced person. We na immediate person. For just to talk extempore, sometimes it's anger without not properly get scripted. The danger about that is when it talk, think about it, people are not going to say Fatima Bio. What comes up almost intuitively, the wife of the president. And that gets a lot of connotation. The wife of the president, and so the wife of the presidency. Yeah, even if they will call him, but they'll try to make sure they connect the office. The office is why the wife of the president said. So people will look and say, well, how the wife of the president will begin to talk about more justice? The president, they talk about for tribal things, get open, transparent, we have bring things in, get a good justice system, get all that. But how a wife will come in talk about mob justice? I mean, you don't dilute the message. You don't create a mixed, you don't send a mixed message. I mean, how could she be? People, a school of thought can say, I mean, is the president not paying lip service to the very concept of trying for ensure an equality and a just society where everybody in the place go feel welcome, where everybody go feel a part of them, everybody get a say. And I mean, that would that not factor negatively to which the woman not say? So all of these things they ego factor into consideration. People that look out for that point, they say, this it looks small, it really small for the president, the wife, the talk and kind. So the long and short of this argument here now, before bringing another theory body of interest to me there, the long and short of it is that mob justice is not acceptable in any shape or form. Let we not allow we emotions them forget the better part of we. The great English philosopher, William Shakespeare, in one of his treatises, which he tell we, which he warn we, he said before we talk, he said no think. He said before we jump, he said no look. Because you think about words, when you utter words, people they get different way when they look at them. You where they do that pronouncement, that might not be your intention. But what you they fail for realize that you don't hand to your detractors a weapon when they go use against you. You don't give them a weapon. And we live in such a volatile political culture in the Salone. People that they look for the listing. They make a whole mountain out of a mole. So at US Hotel, you see her in East, then they take a car go to Mount Everest. Blow them out of proportion. Make a big deal out of them. Then waiting will happen now, you go just find yourself that the defensive. So the question is how long you will defend yourself? How long that defense you will defend yourself? So this all the more why it is very, very important for the wife of the president a bit guided in how it make pronouncements. Yes, she means very well. And you cannot take it out of it gets overdriving doing things, but only that in the course of this doing it, it can veer off the course, it can miss the crystal ball, then it can give in detractors them enough ammunition for let them go at the mistake or the misspeak what you do, as opposed to looking at the message we try for convey. You see, because look at the thing like the way Mr. Abdulrashid Thomas, then a big banner headline now, big banner. Even though there's the substance in there, waiting it don't happen now, it don't eclipse that lily angel, the fight for that lily angel, it don't eclipse her. I mean, instead of we all focus on saying, we need for being the perpetrators of this crime here, so we need for bringing her to justice. But look at Ms. Beyonce now, more justice for the but more justice, they could say it undermine the rule of law. And there is a possibility that you go always wind up accusing a wrong person. People, them very wicked, people can do anything. You will get difficulty with somebody. Something to be done or your girlfriend, something not happen. There's something, it will hold you hostage. All of this because you don't say now you get that. And like I say, please, I want let me listeners understand I am not being insensitive there towards the woman in cause. I am not by any stretch of imagination. I am not. I will not support anything we will violate the sanctity of womanhood. Subject her to no, I will not. I strongly condemn her in the strongest time with anybody here. But at the same time again, I don't allow me emotions to drive me. There is always, what they call recourse to judgment. For any infractions like that take place, we get mechanism with for aggressor. What we need for do? We need for tighten up the laws. We need for make sure say there's swift, way of handling that is swift in the sense inside the palace of justice that they forgo. For make sure say 10 cases they don't more say a rape case ready before the court, not get delayed inordinately because in law, according to the applicable principles of law, again, in the natural concept of justice, there's a common dictum in law which say justice delayed and justice denied. When you delay justice, you deny justice, and that's not good. Everybody wants to be assured of justice. That make you go there. That make you say, Lady Justice is colorblind. It is a status blind. It is about personality blind. The justice doesn't see anybody. Now make them make sure say, wait, Tinapa, that scale, they see anybody. What you are in the facts that why he color blind, he status blind. So let pray God say Mrs. Bio not actually mean we talk about mob justice. It no mean waiting me, you know, waiting a mob, waiting the mob they do. Seriously, not to that in they look at that context. No, just accept say he misspeak. Not to really. So tell you actually mean let we take let the law take its course, but not to them. Because that way he had he crude. He I don't know which kind of a century way that way they do that kind of a way they in this modern day and age, they never do that. That means they not even try to enhance the technology with the fight stage and the DNA. These are the things that Mrs. Bio for the push for. We needed today, especially when take this picking business, woman business. So we needed today we could guarantee, we woman the dignity, the sensitivity. Let we get after we get people who have medical people in the country. Where do we like now the machine, the infrastructures, and now not get. We get police that we get people that we get degrees and we inside we police when they work there. They get college education there. But we need to forget the tools, the technology them. We go make them do their work to the satisfaction of all and sundry where justice will be said. So with that on the rape business within the context of Mrs. Bio, what he say, I think say I don't exhaust more, except people that get calls for making that I want to bring in another thing, even though it not be scripted actually, but I mean now when Madam Fadima will get for talk about, I can give a synopsis about her, just lay out, how me things say it work within the context of waiting we they see and also we did, especially in America. That's not the role of local government in the lives of the citizens. The fundamental question we I want to ask whether the central government for usurp for take over the role of the local government. They are yet the central government for all intents and purposes. We will oversee. Let we use this model here. Let we use them for send back home. And in particular, me, I use United States because now I have no more in the see. I see how it work. Me believe say every city or every not call it city or big towns them for be able to forget some kind of a management structure where they run the day-to-day affair of the city. More talk say PG County holding so PG holding. We not expect number 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue for run PG County. 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue means the White House. Let it run this. What to expect? We expect PG County for set up a local structure where now they tend to the affairs of the citizens within PG County. What do they need? The citizens in PG County will need water, they need electricity, they need trash for be picked, they need good sanitation, they need this, they need that, they need, not to the central government for provide that. You see, this is not the mistake this way with governments they do back home, where everything is central government, they grab all things. No, they're not good. The central government not going to pick trash, they're not going to clean, they're not going to. Now make that project where President B.O.B. bring, to be honest with anybody, the intention of cleaning, no go on cleaning. The word cleaning in fire, not clean. But the question now the role of the central government that the government for every month for kind of mobilize everybody, say let everybody go clean. No, that we call a regimentation. And we call it forced labor. Now, forced labor, and we have to have mechanisms and structures in place where they take care of that on daily basis, not on monthly basis. No, and the only mechanism we will do that, the city government for be responsible for schools them, not to everything that the federal or they call a federal government, the central government. For example, let's say the argument now can go free term. City council for be able to forget kind of a provision where trash is picked every day. Not for being a matter for the central government for regulate. The city government for be able for make sure say water supply inside free top, pipe water supply day. Who said today not to the central government you know that but be very honest. Electricity supply for the municipality of Freetown, not to central government Euro Dandy. But then the question they have, how will the city government, the city council, how they going to meet up their commitment in the for make sure say we get water, and the streets are clean, they get electricity, public places that are clean, like the public parks are maintained, traffic regulation, not to federal. Oh God, please, me listeners, if I say federal, I mean central. If I mistake call federal, I actually mean central. So I would accept that say at the central government, I mean by that. And lot of parking. The traffic situation that we talk, believe me, I dey try for look forward for see how for describe that. You not get no parking zone. You not get outside enough for park. And then some side some motorcar they outside they not even supposed for the drive there. People they just park anyhow. And not only that, people they drive motorcar them. We not roadworthy. Those are functions of the city council. We forget structure. These are the advantages, like I already tell anybody. We were the overs. The lines are open to the audience. The lines are open. I can call at any time to comment on the Mrs. Fatima EU solution. Plus, what you talk about that. Like I say, the things the way I don't talk about that the city council. But then the question we will ask: how the city council will meet it here? This is where the city therefore be given authority for them to be able to raise money. How do they raise money for supporting here? Taxes now one. Inside we do pay tax. We pay grocery tax. You pay tax virtually on everything. They pay tax. Those taxes collected are the very funds when they use for get all for pick trash. If then they pay taxes and that future to the local government here. They help to get what you call Department of Sanitation. They help get that where they hire people them not on a monthly basis. They can divide the towns into different geographic location, and they can divide them. Just the way they make it to constituency 101, constituency this, constituency that. Most say the people the way they we be the column like Freetown is one like that we comprise for me, Kanike and all this and they part the day and that they for be able to forget the young kind of way where they are the people that within the Department of Sanitation everything. Now yeah in the cover the area so in the cover. Now in the cover you take out the most from central, you go to central, You get the Department of Sanitation, how they call it, we're solely devoted, to the center where they take care of, where they responsible for trash picking, cleaning of the street lights, they taking place, they get it, what they get water supply where they go. One of the other things they begin where I believe say we for do, and the reason where we get, we officials in that place, and they do visit overseas every now and then. For example, the current mayor are aware of the fact that instead don't come overseas and then major places, you don't go Canada, you don't come United States, you don't go here, don't go. Me always believe say when the people are they come and then come to their so they just want the kind of more for they not for kind of more for the heck of coming. They for be able for engage the counterparts. This is why we have ambassadors and high commissioners. Before they must say a mayor they come or a cabinet minister they come, let's say when arrangements should have been made way in advance, they not talk to the ambassador. Look, of course, you know, I mean, at the mayor that feature me, where I come, I go really want to see if there's a way where you will make arrangement for let me to the counterpart, the mayor of Washington, or let me to the mayor of Baltimore, or let me to the mayor of that place. I say, I go want me to tell, let us see if I can get an idea how some of the things say where they work like yeah, how you not to everything they do at central government to federal government level. No, there are a lot of things where can be done at interlocal governmental level. The mayor of Freetown came to talk to the mayor of Washington. He can't to the one say, well, hey, how you they get rid of waste? For example, we get now Washington DC that they get that waste management treatment where they purify water, then toilet water and so then they purify. How do they do that? They turn to water again, all they use. How do they do that? Trash inside America, you they make money out of it. But all that technology, all of that thing they have so that technology. Now they make trash, then they make you get big incinerator there. Now the way do clean the money so tomorrow. The trash the way they put, and you get time. Whether the regular trash that they pull, you get time or that they put the hard substance they then bought to them, then newspaper there, then card they put. All of those things are being reprocessed. They are being. But that will only happen if we officials in Canada, they engage. America, when they stand on their own feet, they not be get nobody for teach them that. We don't need for be 244 years, John McQuay yesterday make America 244 years. We don't need for be 244 years for now they get most of the tier in place. Waiting we need for capitalize on with diplomacy. We need for capitalize on the fact say we get a bilateral as well as multilateral relationship with countries that way advanced. After that, we join all the international organizations. These are the reasons that there are benefits. There are short-term benefits, there are long-term benefits. Not to all send our money for can do for. You can and say, oh, World Bank don't give X amount of this. IMF don't give this. Okay, yes, fine, we need the money, we do. But the question is, these monies, given, are the citizens seeing their money at the CM? Or when the government say they spend their money, then they spend them in such a way that when the citizens then they get the benefit out of it. Because if we doing this corona, the foreign governments or the major, finance institution, they send money that they are sending money. But are we seeing this money? Are they seeing the money at work? Where do they see salary? Salary, in fact, then one of the things in that way. If Lady Fatima be there, that they can't talk about, this pay. For example, they have just paid the Minister of Finance. We see the paper because we say I get that paper ready, so that we go look at say they just don't pay. Then people that will be come out of office we be in the previous administration. Well, I'm not actually totally against paying anybody if you waiting belong to it, they call it restitution, waiting belong. But the question is, it is timing. For example, me believe saying like all that money we don't go in here. So you see, there are certain things wait for me priority. But if a country the only thing where you get someone overhead that's also pay salary, more pay big salary and bonuses, and then the other thing they would not neglect other essentials in life. Then it's not. Then come the fundamental question: say, where is the governor of the bank, the central bank? Because the governor of the central bank for they in a position where if you offer economic advice, to the country, meaning that what you not for do, we expenditure for all intent and purposes, not for overwhelm we to get. In other words, we not for spend, we to not get. We expenditure, it outweigh we income. It outweigh. So, like I said, there's so much emphasis on, giving back benefits to the people at the expense of other urgent things that where if I'm a part and parcel of waiting they can be comfortable. Outside Salone, I want to tell all my listeners, and I'm not saying they go agree with me. They go agree with me, say, Salone not to a poor country. They go agree with me because let us take the population of Salone. Salone is just a population of North Carolina. The most I go give Salone conservatively, say na 10 million. So 10 million at the yes, 10 million, and they bring 10 million down to between 8 and 7 now. For God's sake, people want to tell we say, with all the resources where we get a Salone, people don't get that foresight for harnessing resources in day in such a way that we will get the maximum benefit. Is it what actually people they tell we that we not go able to harness their resources and they forget maximum benefit? Why we for the other nasty, we for the other chocolate, from overseas? Why should we do that? Why should we do that for other chocolate from overseas? When we get the raw material yonder, what is wrong with saying, look, we want it, but you guys come here. Now they do. Now will process them. Then we say Salone has become an import-oriented society and an economy that this is like very bad. And an import-oriented economy. We have never been an export. Well, there were years before we had those things. But then when the country take another, we change the political dynamics. We went from the Westminster, the kind of politics we began at the Western, then we change this Cuba, China, North Korea, and all that kind of. Then what happened? The country went down to the abyss. Because I tell people, when I have time to talk to people, then where I can see they make the senseless comparison. I don't hear people talk about you know what? About China don't take over United States. China, no. There is no way. That this one where they tell anybody today, take a can go to World Bank. China, by every stretch of imagination, will take over for the United States. No way. You know why? Because China is a one-man dictatorship. Now, one man, just one. Just when I say one man, they're just a group of few people that they make decisions. In the Western industrialized democracies, Britain, United States, France, Germany, Now, collective politics, now they will get input of everybody. So when you have the input of everybody, there's chance that you get talented. You get talented. You harness the talents together. So when you get a this locomotive here, they will not drive on. Everybody, they be part and parcel of the society. Each and everybody gets something for offer to us. The country in socio-economic, political, and cultural emancipation. One way or the other, we all get into the for offer. So what do they do? We bring all the resources together. We bring all the human resources there. We create a political climate. For example, let we look at Constituency 110. Since 2018 or 20, whatever the elections took place, Constituency 110 has yet for getting your representation at Parliament. The citizens are there, but they are not being represented in Parliament. All that also not to development that because with the MPs, most of them get the representative in the Parliament, the MP will be there. He will try for put the case for the people of Constituency 110. They think say what they need and all they are not being represented. So when they now get represented, it's kind of small. So perhaps we also want again look at the other countries the way they around we. Look at them. For example, look about this even medical business. Ghana in like today, Ghana get one of the most major hospitals in the Salone. They get one of the most major hospitals there. But Salone, since me come na future, where I come on my village upline that kind of future. As a small boy, we're in a future. We are no of Connaught Hospital. We are saying that place stay. Say today at the same place and you talking of the 21st century. The fundamental question we will ask, we not go able to try for change this in such a we get you don't get government say we get we go say we get foresight, where they see beyond their nose, where they look at the crystal ball, we go say, you know what? Why we not go make what you construct that measure, make a temporary medical, how they call it for the hospital that has first, there will be a modern major medical institution. From that day, you can even get we bought a sister there where they learn medicine. That also can be part of the teaching school. They all get that because actually get everything they. That can be part of it. Whilst they try for being doctors, that they are assigned to the hospital them. That will be all they say. The student they are attached to the hospital them. Whilst they go through the medical business. But all of now, look what even about this agriculture. Again, you they look at Salone where God bless them. God bless Salone in the area of land. We get the kind of fertile, land. We get everything. They also tell when we come up there something. I think that Rokupa will be able to get water that West Africa rice, something like that. But I mean water. When I be part of the FAO, that food and agriculture na room into the water, but we don't let it don't go into disuse. Don't go into misuse. We don't go to we go there that a country less than how they call a million people there, 10 million people there, hunger and starvation, the rain where we get such lands. Everybody don't cancel on a free town. The politicians what they don't know, they encourage everybody for canceling on a free town. The government they fail for realize say they know get the mechanism. They don't get how they call it. The government, the central government cannot able to employ everybody. But they bring all the young able talent and they bring them a free job. So not get place for sleep. They not able to afford the rent. They go up and down. They go. Then the next thing will happen again. They talk say the idle brain is a devil's workshop. The next thing a crime. Because I mean, let's look at it. If you don't get, or you don't get a job, and you get for leave. If you don't get a job, you get for leave. So the next thing you get for do that crime. Because at the end of the day, that crime. But if they don't put them young people, then they don't go. And there was a time when VOS bring one man at this show, and Dr. Trey, we bring one man, Dr. Trey. This man is a highly educated man at stamina level. Dr. Trey. What he do? He go sit on a free and they go try for faith for be MP or for be minister. No, he didn't do that. He went upline, and even the upline where he go, not to even the major town, he went, places off McKinney that he go, not to even inside McKinney, not to this sit down. Now outside the outskirts of McKinney, that the man go sit down. What did the man do? He come up with first start with agriculture. Tourism. Now, he get other things that they run the schools, clinic, a semi-hospital or clinic. He run this, he run that. Now, in your rest way, he sell yonder. A cheaper pass waiting the city they buy from the central authority system. We get so many youths there where the politicians are not making good use of them. The only time when they will make use of them now for letting them go perpetrate political violence. Not go demonstrate here now. But then these politicians, waiting, then we youths say, no, they understand. These selfish politicians, these heartless politicians, their family members say they oversee. They live very ostentatious and opulent lifestyles and they enjoy. They get water, they get electricity, they ride motor car, they eat good, they sleep good. But una go there outside that they go demonstrate. Every day when they go protest. Every day you're out there. When after you do something, they manage you 5 leons. My mom can go buy cookery for. How I go get for the live on cookery? I need for them in a situation where myself will able and for myself. But what they don't create a culture of handout, So these are the collective tragedy this we done before Salone. And we get politicians and they focus in priority. We actually very skewed, wrong. Who say emphasis for day in order day. Waiting for, in a lay the way we do when the citizens them we if you say you can go before everybody's like what you don't do. We don't make one man. I mean we tell you everything that just the president. We know they talk about a situation where they say, the country, because when they talk about the country, they talk about look, Parliament is supposed to do this. What did Parliament not do for others? Even like this rape is what they talk about. By now, we expect with Parliament for the begin look at some laws them. We're very because you want to get lost in a country also where it goes through the circumstances of the day. You don't want to get lost and we're so archaic. We're not applicable. Without going into this treason case, let's just make a small adequate way for tell anybody say we don't know. The treason case where then people then may get then centuries away, then kings and actually they think the treason actually that be a serious offense against the king, or where would they plan for come and bomb the country, for invade the country, for do this, for do that. Okay. But as time they go on, waiting in countries they do, they major in the country they don't remove that commot that they work. They don't put up. Yes, if you have more the dignity of the country, they go bring charges. But the question of treason actually now only Africa that didn't know with it. For the longest time I've been in the United States, I don't hear about treason there. And I've not heard of treason case from England. Because I follow and read. I have not seen it. I've not heard of a treason case in France. I've not heard of a treason case in Germany. I've not heard of that. But still, they with third world countries, they get them. They still get them. There was a time in Ghana in 1962. 5 people they accused them of attempting for assassinating Kwame Nkrumah. So they charged them to court. What happened? The Chief Justice now preside over the case. Ato Kosa, when the first black man Chief Justice now preside over the case. Is can't find out say there are not sufficient evidence for convict all of them, especially three of them. But Kwame Nkrumah insisted, say, "Oh no, the all man for be found guilty. All man, the Chief Justice, as God we have it, stood his ground. Waiting Kwame Nkrumah, if I had the Chief Justice, simply because the Chief Justice now we convict everybody. So these are all the things that they set back in Africa. People always talk, say, and today I want address this issue. Not compare Salone to England, not compare Salone to America, not compare. Yes, in a sense, you know, but in other sense, no. Here is why here is why people when they say not compare America to America, here's where we're not wrong. And they lay out the corresponding argument. When America defeats King George III, now to call the Battle of Saratoga, they forced they forced England for recognized independence. You remember we know that New of independence. We come into the Battle of Saratoga when they defeat King George. What did America do? They come together quick. They write the laws, the constitution, they write them. They try to then decide, they say, then they be a nation of laws. Then the ethical foundation and moral compass where now in the basis of that country will be the law, the supreme law. This is where people they make a major mistake. Why they not Kiwana? The difference between Salone or any African country, not only Salone, there in America is that America they believe say law, nobody know they above the law. In the other countries, the African countries, and particularly, they get demigods. They get people that win are gods with the law of for church. I can hear an example. The laws na Guinea clearly say na only two terms. Only two terms. Alpha Conde say no, in Kenya, no. But no way, not the way Mr. Trump will change the laws of United States. Say two terms na two terms. He let them say Mr. Trump. He more progressive past God. The laws of the United States will start. By God power, this November, when they call the first Tuesday in November, he let coronavirus take the whole country. People they will put blankets over themselves, protect themselves, and go vote. Because that's what the law said. Nothing will prevent that. He let them say the corona don't take over the whole place. One man will go vote. That one man will remain where corona not go hold up. He will go vote. Simply because that's what the law said. That's what the law said. But the African could, oh, well, you know, corona don't come. So you know what? No, no hold election. You know, no, we'll not wait for. We guarantee you're going to say that the corona will go away quickly. You don't get no guarantee. Then what you do, then you perpetuate yourself in power and remain there. So that are different. What would they try for talk say? No, not compare we self to them. No, me say no. The reason why, in a way, I will see you tonight, when I don't already admit, say we not lawless people then, we not a jungle mentality with it, we not a free for all mentality. So we not civilized enough, we're not able. So we accept the supremacy of the United States because they believe in law and order. That are the only difference now. Nothing else. Nothing. Because me believe say if we really want progress, we can look at things the way don't they happen and they country they are so. We don't need for wait until we 244 years like how America be yesterday. No, we don't have to. After us, America could send people them out. We have ambassadors to send out. We have high commissioners to send out. We have ministers are coming in. They are becoming every now and then. They are seeing it. America progress because a place where allow competition. Competition. If like at the guy in the street, so if they go to a gas station, If I see your gas station now $2.50, so I manage I drive say I go see one now $1.10. Now they go because the competition. Now we don't need people Salone and say we don't need foreign investors then. No, get it very clear. You get Salone and say wait they we me know of. We get the capital, they get the technology, they get the know-how. But they don't go invest in Salone because the place exponentially corrupt. Corruption, they don't choke. Where you go, before you go, this one, this, you want this, you want this, you want this. By the time you don't give all that, what you left with now? Nothing. How you have investors? So the problems are what they get. Let for the seller will not compare with each other. If I want to open a restaurant now, if I want to open a restaurant, first I go to the place where they give license. I tell them, say, I want to open a restaurant. The first way they find out whether that place where I want to open a restaurant, that place where for do business, and then the first thing that they, when they don't look the map, the zoning, they say, okay, yes, you go do and or you don't go do and and if you want that. Most say, I want to build meal. I get all my contractors there. We don't arrange. Almost they take up, they do all it. Before I go inside it, the inspectors in the camp, they make sure say the place meet all environmental and requirements. But as they do that, I don't they bribe nobody. I will not bribe anything. The reason why I don't go bribe anybody, the law not allow me for bribe somebody. That the benefit is all that in a place where people they believe in doing things the proper way. The law not allow me. What did the law allow me for make sure say you create the kind of thing that we go meet the standard, we go meet her. Once I don't do it no more, I don't get no way. You get for give me what I want, you give me my license. But we cannot do that. So that now one and elections, not about elections. We don't count on life and death business. As I try for wrap up by 10:30, or perhaps less than that. Let we know before we go back, we again give summary of this thing where Fatima Bio talk about a lot about elections. My friends say we come back, we don't get tired of you talking about America. That's fine. I go oblige you that. For me tired of, or maybe you guys be tired of me talking about America. But simple. When for one thing where they now was so clear, this again now they talk about a country very developed, a country with advanced what they do. Every 2 years in this country, the first Tuesday of November, they get elections, mini elections, and every 4 years they get general elections. Mostly like this mini election they go pan. We don't claim for if me dey na this area, so more say are they na land over there for we register. I don't have the color right. Me ID they show us I not go there na land over there. They go vote na DC. Na no. That's a no. So first na they first will be instant. I know come on na mainland. I go vote na DC. I know register there. I make we go. If they carry you ID go, they look up. And we don't even give. Who that they meet at the police station, that then old party and then old mommy that them. You know, you hardly meet young boy that sit down there. You go, as you go, you get your ID. You don't even need for talk to her, you get your ID. You look up there, take your paper, you go him and down. Okay? You hit the paper down. When you don't hit the paper down, now go you go so. Even 10. They announce the result. When they announce them, now Mr. B win. That's the end of it. Till the next 4 years. The question is hala they did it? No. Violence they did it? No. Fake go did it? No. So if we did not me and you, we did not England, we did not Germany, we did not France, we did not with the citizen. Why, for heaven's sake, we not go tell people, wait a minute, you guys. Power, you there, still not power. Now we vote, we they go to the polling stations for affirm with faith in the validity of the sanctity of the ballot box by voting for you. You don't go sit down at that chair where not we put you there. You they sit down at that chair there because that's all we want now. We vote for you. And they say this in light of what happened at constituency 110. Why it will take we this long 30 days for filling a place, places and ways so elections will not take place? Why we have for resort of violence? I mean, I really want to someone tell me how violence, come into holding general election, how violence will make we get the candidate who want. Now, this another person put me through this. All you do is just take the ballot paper where they give you go give another box. But like my very good friend the Soviet Union, my good friend Joseph Stanley be once say, he say not to you where they go give the paper on the ballot box. Now the person where they count. All with electoral problem that they come out. Not to you where go give the paper. Now the man we count. Because he can see so. Say this person and I will take a put under because they know he don't get the ban anyway. So all of these things, that part of the thing that way we will remain there like tail. We will tell a HMS one place. We not go before we don't come yet. Now one side number with that. Because we simply refuse to submit to read things the right way or to law and order. Now problem that to go we able to equate yourself with America and make us sit down and testify or argue the fact that we can able to take over from America. One, we population small. Two, we get the resource system. But what to not get? We not get people there. We don't get people there. We get heartless people there. You see one man here, get about 10 oaths. One man, then you look smile. You look and say, well, okay, wait a minute. Let's see, but Naya Kutubu the work. This is Kutubu's salary. But Kutubu get 10 house Naya. How Kutubu come about getting 10 house within, that is salary day? The answer simply Kutubu the cut corners, Kutubu the thief. Simply put up there in the thief. Or you work now electricity. When people then go for pay their light bill, then instead of you put the money in the register, you put it in your pocket. Right there. Or you work now Guma Valley, people then go for pay their water bill, they put the money in their pocket. You don't hamper progress right there. It is the things that what we they do and when they know they do now them countries there, now make them day before. And we not go before. Until we change with attitude, with mentality and perception. We will never elect we they as old as United States, which are we 244 years, as long as that mentality, which you tie cow na day you did that they eat grass. Or you know what? That man, a big man, or that man, that the president in Pikinali, that the president in Wefrani, that the president in Sister, that these are them. All of these things we need. America suddenly, what they can say, what they decide for do? They decide for be a nation of laws that we need for take. And some of we go need for only they compare America and Salone. Say yes, we also get the capacity for be like Salone, but we are people that we not believe in them. We not believe in them. We don't believe in them. We believe in they make leaders and God, demigods. When they write the laws of the United States, the Constitution, one of the delegates get up for say, well, the way how they for the address the president. One of the cast well, they address him. He's His Highness. Oh Lord, you ask what they do, how they do. They say, no way, no way, no way. Mr. President, well, you go to Africa, they talk to a leader. You read for calling His Excellency Field Marshal, Admiral of the Fleet General, so. You get for go to all the grandiloquent titles and first before you get to the money name. You get for put all of those things in it. Why not just simply say Mr. President? But you get for go to all. This accounts for the reason why we African leaders they never left up because the panoply of state protocol, they grandiloquent titles where you put it. When they come up apart, now just how you would call it. So because when they not go, they not get any time to it. So that's one thing that again, the law of the office, or the CND. In that country, leadership now just service. Now service. One of the problems they will get a good number of we people in the way they get we no need for let a government go out of power first. After 5 years or 10 years, we hold commission of inquiry. We do not need commissions of inquiry. We don't. Me now wonder we will stand firm on that. We don't need commission of inquiry. What do we need? We need a situation where the one they were saying and they talk for we so-called journalists. Let the member say they say get a stake in Salone. Then they therefore they take brown envelopes. That's the first thing. If they see this, if they say this that white, then they call it white. Then they not say, oh, I think say na white. No, not call it. I think say na white. No, na white. Plain. What that means? Una the so-called journalists and that una they act as the educators of the people them. Now una they check on what the government they do and accurately report that to people them. Now you tell them. What you they do, you they report to how they call them. Now you they report. Yes. We can give reverence to leaders, but we leaders are not to God. No, they're not good. They make mistakes. They do make mistakes. And more of them mistakes, they're totally incalculable. They make mistakes. And now we they tolerate that. Because we know they tell them. We believe say we leaders them, then they don't make mistakes. If I then UPP party now, call a good evening. This is the social media review with Fadima Savage and Kutubu Koma. Who said they call from a which program, please?
Yes, good evening, Professor Kutubu. This is Navin, they call from Kansas City.
Welcome, ma. Welcome.
It's unfortunate say get too many responses because you don't outline the problem, you don't give the answer to the problem, and I will buttress the problem. Any way law and order not day, accountability not day. Now that situation that we get for pen research, and now that we go continue for pen research. I not understand what to make the Ministry of Education not going to be accountable for what they happen educationally in the country. Minister of Lands and Mines, country planning, not going to be accountable for what they happen. The congestion, the box up, mix up in the country with how people in the plan the country, how people in the build. Minister of Road and Transport not going to be accountable for what they happen at the ministry. I mean, every ministry day with the title, but nobody not they way accountable. We go say na in go, then go call to parliament, and they go call to books where anything happen. We for be accountable. We go give an outlay of what they go on. So you question, you don't answer the question. I just say buttress what you say. No accountability, no there, law and order, no there. So thank you. We want for be like Rwanda, but we don't want for what it takes for Rwanda be what it be. Now we not accept. Salone less than 8 million. Look the kind condition we will be in. Day after day, party after party. So I mean, it's hard to say. Some of we don't say we look and wait with time. We will move on. No, pray God say maybe the future will be better. But for now, it still seems to be the same. Thank you.
Thank you so much, man. Let God continue to bless you. And let God keep your family there. Let God save you from the ravages of Corona. Thank you very much, man, for that wonderful contribution. So as we wrap up, because we in VOS, we get low any program for past 2 hours. So we bring it to 10:30, we wrap up. But as we wrap up, I sum up again. I sum up in this way. Yes, Mrs. Fatima Bio, we like in drive, we like in dynamism. It really mean well. The only thing may your advice to continue review to and let it get people them we would help them in most of the things that we need to do. Especially we make public pronouncements because one thing you need to understand, they are not going to say Fatima Bio, they say the wife of the president. And when they say the wife of the president, it gets endless ramifications actually, because there's chance that it will make a statement where it will be construed as a policy statement. And so whether statement will make that policy statement, and what if that is not to the government you're thinking? Then, so that accounts for why, because this way it means so the word mob, oh look at that word in a Tranga word that EAB. We cannot have, because when you talk about mob, actually we talk about an animal farm mentality, that a jungle society, the survival of the fittest, now other strong person company. No, we don't want that. We want a society where you're like way we mama don't can't talk about say accountability. For all people that are accountable. We have to hold people accountable. We have to. Within the constraints of the legal system. We also therefore try to make sure say with judiciary work. But how we judiciary, we SSF therefore be part of the judiciary. We SSF. There are a lot of things that we cannot see. For example, if I go now attack I go for clear ambiguous. If the law say this year I for pay 10,000 leons for this. If the clerk call in a corner say, oh, just give me 6,000. Not what. Demand for pay the correct one and demand the proper receipt. Because that money when they pick and so every now and then, now money that way for go towards the development of the place. But if you go give the clerk clerk, they don't give him 6,000 leons as opposed to 10,000 leons before pay. You don't actually also help undermine the economic development of the place because the money when we go to the central revenue, you don't keep it to yourself. You end up on another and then at the service standing right there. So we SSF as citizens, we first stay away from corruption because corruption is when you also the aid and abet by when the man come with the wrong thing, then you go along that. You SSF corrupt. You SSF when they either offer the bribes or you try for court corner, you corrupt also. Not to only the person will receive them, you also corrupt, and that actually on patriotism that, and also that they hold the nation economic progress back. So Lord get this at the back of your mind. And to me, listeners, and they again continue for argue the fact say, yes, we can compare ourselves to America. If possible, we can take over from America. We're able. When you consider our population, when we consider what to get, but you're like, whoa, mama don't catch up now. Where to not able to take over from America from? We know because we not believe in law and order. They believe in law and order. We not believe in them. And as long as we not believe in law and order, we not believe in that. We say that the jungle mentality, that the animal farm mentality, that the free for all mentality, we will always remain for the admired United States. We will always. This are they tell anybody. As long as we not believe in the rule of law, we not believe so we'll do things in the right way. We believe say all things are for cut corners. They talk that say yeah na 45 miles per hour. You they go 8 miles per hour. Where they go, you don't know that you don't know that I mean? Who that are you? You know that they talk to? Oh no. Now when the police pull you over, you know they ask the police if you don't know who that are you. You know they ask the police that who that are you? Oh no. When the police pull you over, he pull you over for you get for cooperate with the police, yeah, all you papers them until the police so there you go. If the police give you ticket, you know they call in a corner, you get a little. No, where you give the ticket, now go don't go so. It inside the system. You go pay, you not pay it on you. When you ready for go renew your license or you motoka a tag or you driver's license, then you go find out. It's as simple as that. Systems and structures, law and order, that make United States great. Systems, structures, things that we don't put for head because they know people are very corrupt now. Also, make no mistake. People are very corrupt now. But guess what? You get a guard rates them. You have to be corrupt. That's on you. When in Africa, we admire, we did that. But I'm wearing that. Kutubu get money. That girl get money. But you don't ask Kutubu say put that money there. You don't actually ask her. Who say put that money there? In a way you see salary. Then you see how much you don't get. For God's sake, who say put that money there? So in other words, we get this mentality. I say a tie cow that they eat grass. We don't trade that then. We don't can't go to the zenith of Mount Everest. So anybody, as soon as you hire them, the only thing that way they do, but you go hire somebody today. But I tell you, the bills, where the bills, what one know, it double up. It double up. Give them a year or two, that man will not get palaces in one grade. Afa, who said pull up? Who said police? You angry? They will admire they kind people they. That's the society. And you know, we say it was 60 years. And again, at this time, postulation, this. As long as we not change with attitude, mentality, and perception, we not change them. And we decide, say, we not will be a society of law and order. We they be a society that the young mentality, that the animal farm, now, I mean, the big man, now the power. For now, we don't call nobody the power. The president is never the power. The most what they call the president now, the most President Trump. Now the most that we call him President Trump. But one now Trump. But they don't arrest anybody one day because they call him Trump. No, they name Trump. Does that mean so we don't get respect for him? We do, but they name that. But His Excellency Field Marshal Admiral General Trump, no, they don't get time for that. They don't get time for that. So again, we appeal to Mrs. Bio. Yes, intentions are good, but how it carry them, now they make it look a bit small. Now they make people are not looking at the bigger picture. Because that pronouncement, mob justice that they triangle small. A really triangle. Mob justice not good. There's great chance that mob justice, you will go perpetrate mob justice for the wrong person. Then by the time you realize you will not do incalculable harm to the person. So let we advise Mrs. Bio, let it help, let it use the influence to the government. Let's make sure so we get things same way we did, especially in this how for solve rape cases. America, this is how they solve rape cases. If you let go like anybody say don't do, that's fine. What you do now, when they go to the DNA, they'll go find out if they or not. Or you go like a person say now you give a left, that's fine. That's your business and they go find out if they do or not. So these are the little things there and how they talk about. We say we don't need to wait for 244 years. They can't make America be. When America started, not begin nobody are from scratch. They say they look, they start with 13 colonies. Then don't do this. No, do this. No, can you imagine 50 different countries come together? They form one country, one leader. And we good old friend Ghana, Kwame Nkrumah, we talk say, "Now get United States of Africa High Command." But the problem is now, Uda will be leader. Now that's the problem. Uda will be leader because nobody now give up to a company. One man go and be leader. He no go and give. Yeah, they know in such a way. Yeah, we all 50 of we don't come together. 50 countries don't come together. Go to the door. We will shape the leadership. Now make we put time. Okay, you go there. When this you term down, you go. The other man come. And let them say, you get the wisdom past God. You, where you mean go take exam, now you and God take exam and beat God by the exam. So now you now a book level more service, you shall be passed all man. Wait 2 times now go it go so. No matter you do. Oh no, so but we not open the constitution. So, or after me na me, after you na you, me na third time, and me more time. No. We don't need all that today. The part of the political unrest in the country, then I didn't see where people they want to perpetuate excessive power. That part of it. So now we tell Ms. Fatima, one an activist part of the but also a get for stay within the limits of within, because the office of First Lady, as I wrap up, really not a constitutional office. Mrs. You need to understand that. Not a constitutional office. Now just an extension of respect on when they put by the leader. So whether the leader, his wife, daddy. In most countries, and women know the leader, his wife, yes, they help the husband, but now behind the scene. I remember when Mrs. Clinton decided for be a co-president in America and 30 days in on time. That first time we he go take over from the Minister of Health in job that in the insurance military for that healthcare business where he go take over like the Secretary of Health and Human Services. The people are not being actually taken to that kindly, and that's 30 days in the hometown. Now I don't make in chances of being president of the United States in Changa. Yes, I love strong women then, but no more now draw the line them. Started in the chef, the office of First Lady. If for be one way, if for be something like this, the state, I don't know how to put that. Let it be the one when they project the protocol of the country. Oh, look, the First Lady and that. You don't go under today. Now this is you go now this group. You go talk to them, picking it because like Big Mama Bush, the big part Bush. A wife. That man was one of the most powerful and respected women in this country, but not before the lenses. So nobody go before the lenses. All you do is just take one project, literacy for read to picking them. Then they read to picking them. You get that they picking them, they read to them. Like that we do. In other words, that this we had a corner. Say these are the leaders of tomorrow. So now not for begin train them. But she was never, in never grant interview. Where he go with the husband, he didn't at the back. Because she was not the president of the United States. She only happened to be the wife of the president of the United States, but she was not the president. So at all times, he role that the pecking order of things, say he own role. Even though she was very powerful, that's the wife of the president. But she makes sure nobody not see her way they compete with the president or when they get the limelight every now and then. But unfortunately, in Mrs. Bio's own case, she seemed to get more of the limelight than the president. And this, for the man in your office, for your manhood, also that look a bit how they call it. Because a lot of people they look at the man is very weak, everything is Fatima, let's say it's a bit unfortunate, let's say you see that she's doing a good job. We'll give her credit, she's doing a good job. Only that we feel say for lower in profile. Because for one thing, the office is not a constitutional office. That's one thing that. So he need forget this at the back of his mind. So it didn't just a ceremonial how they call her because this is the wife of the president. So they but at no time, will be seen as if in a co-president. Say even you get your seal on because I don't see who said the talk behind the podium, you get the seal, you get this, you get that. Okay, but you want, look at the later like what me happen in Philippines, where Mrs. Imelda Marcos was more of the president. In some other countries, they avoid this problem here. I think in Nicaragua, the president wife and the only country because the wife and the vice president, the woman and the man and the president, but they were elected. So if that's not the case, then you don't go hold anything. And because the woman said they put on the ticket, the people go vote for her. So they vote for the husband and the wife as president and vice president. That's acceptable. But where you are not voted for, we got to forgive the politicians there. So I don't know if anybody get any more, we get any caller on the line. So I give a small caller more 5 minutes interval like this. If anybody there on the line now, or anybody get anything for contribute other than that, which I'm going to do on behalf of the chief host when I Fatima Savage, we unfortunately, it wouldn't act today because of circumstances beyond in control. And so he asked me for stepping, for the talk. And we actually come up with this salary business we the Minister of Finance give. Even though yes, it's okay, but then we be for question whether that was the appropriate time, whether that had been the urgent priority that, and for which not come across, we spend more money on salaries, the salaries and more we pay than other vital things, and we also equally vital to the country. So that actually we talk about this more justice we Mrs. Fatima Biodo come up with. Those are all the things that, but in any case, and I believe we don't exhaust the treason case, we don't exhaust them. Some people are giving kudos to the president that he did not interfere, but that should not be an option. The president will interfere in the running of the judiciary because we run a tripartite system of governance with everybody independent. Caller, who said he call from a waiting I name, there's possibility that you will be the last, except he might tell the caller that called Camo. Other than that,
yes.
I really know I will be on. Who said he call from a waiting I name, sir?
Yes, Professor Kutubu. Good evening, VOS. Mina Abdullah Sisi call from New Jersey, US.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, well, I actually just joined the program, but I meet the very last side where you talk about the first lady in role and your advice to them. I think you said it all. This is something some of us have been pointing out from day one. She's a good woman, and I believe pretty much she has a very good intention for Sierra Leone and the people of Sierra Leone. But like you say, somebody not there with the service leader and any situation we will avoid for take advice. I love her. She's charismatic. She's outspoken. It gets some very good qualities of a leader, but it lacks some where you don't point out already. She needs to have people around her that she would allow to provide her the guidance, the kind of appropriate guidance she needs. Like, you can't just go out there. Even the most educated people and very intelligent people and with the world admire, they always get people around them then to advise them. And are you able to tolerate them people and by you accepting the fact, say, even though you know, but you don't know everything. Somebody will be around you, we see what you know see. You just need to give them the opportunity. And again, I believe if Fatima Bio gets people around them, we get the intelligence, the credibility to understand the wrongs and rights of what they do publicly. But again, to allow them the opportunity for make them get the guts to say that to them in the face. But if you don't allow them, then she may be making a very serious mistake for herself and for us as a country. Because then people in there will see them, they go in the wrong direction. But if they don't get the opportunity to tell and say what they do say wrong, stop and do this thing the right way. I mean, it's not going to be a good thing for her. So I love her. I hope they listen to this program and listen to the advice you give them so and follow them, because now similar thing they affect with presidents in the US today. Donald Trump, he gets very educated people around her, he gets experienced people around her. Then they know between the wrongs and the rights what they do in leadership. But in biggest problem, in your opinion, it don't create an avenue where then people and with they around them, even when they see and they go to the wrong into the wrong direction, they don't get the guts for tell them, because once you tell them, you're fired. Once you tell them, you're no longer popular to him. So I think a very similar situation for Sima Bio the experience. So let it prepare himself, let it get the courage for allow people and for tell them the truth in face and accept them. So thank you very much for the opportunity. Abdullah from New Jersey.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. God bless you for that wonderful contribution, and we will hope that God power Mrs. Bio. Like you say, like you correctly say, yes, she has very good intention. But when we live in a society we governed by norms, governed by understanding, we have protocol. another thing, we need for observer. But by God power, it will, as time we go observer. So on that note, I want to thank you all very, very sincerely from the very deep roots of my humble being for your participation today. And like I say, una conduct yourself and how una come on a debate. I must say it was consistently good to excellent. And this actually they show the maturity in our viewers that people they take her very seriously. That make we do everything possible for make sure say we come. If more say the host way for the day, we can always tap on one person for good day because you guys when I really don't the minute place are home away from home and when I almost only get transfixed to them program there. So go on assure us the program saying no matter what happen, they will always continue. Even if the host them way supposed to program, they will sit there for plug in, get somebody for camps so that no more you guys will keep coming at the place. And I did very well, and I want to thank my colleagues them also, viewers, all of your other presenters them and everybody else. I want to thank everybody for doing a good job because we get a very fantastic team of viewers. Now all the platforms same and for all the programs same. Of course, we CEO, the new CEO. By God power, you guys will get for some. We will try. I will try to tell Fadima Lord bring her. So let you grant me a major interview for let you in vision and so say if they care viewers, for Mr. Kago, we'll try bring him. I'll try to convince Fadima for Lord bring him. So it will be an exclusive interview. So until we come back by God power on social media reviews Sunday. Mr. Kutubu Koma, they hand over everybody to God and they sign off.